The tense negotiations in a bitterly divided Washington. Day one of the government shutdown, and right now no end in sight. The White House accusing the Democrats of throwing a temper tantrum in front of the American people. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer saying the president can't make a deal and the Republicans won't. The sticking point right now for both sides, an issue surrounding the children of undocumented immigrants. And so the Statue of Liberty, you see it there, closed today. Tens of thousands of government workers bracing for furloughs, and now the waiting game. Who will blink first? And if no one does, who will be blamed? ABC's Kenneth Moten starts us off from Capitol Hill.
They can do that today.
Tonight, day one of the shutdown stalemate, turning into a battle over blame.
We do some crazy things in Washington, but this is utter madness.
Day one of the Senate Democrats' government shutdown.
There's little evidence of progress, only a scramble to label the first shutdown under President Trump.
We're about 9 hours into the Schumer shutdown.
This is a shutdown that President Trump welcomed.
The president tweeting, "This is the 1-year anniversary of my presidency, and the Democrats wanted to give me a nice present."
He promised infrastructure. He gave us a train wreck. And now, 1-year anniversary, a big, fat failure F.
Democrats drawing a line in the sand for a funding measure that includes a fix for the Dreamers, nearly 800,000 undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children. Overnight, frantic negotiations in the Senate behind closed doors and even on the floor.
Some people are going to have to get off their high horse and come to their senses.
The clock striking midnight with no agreement on the 1-month stopgap measure that's already passed the House. GOP Senator Lindsey Graham desperately trying to rally support for 3 weeks of funding.
I feel like I'm Switzerland with the army the size of the Vatican.
Tonight, Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer revealing new details about his Friday 90-minute Oval Office meeting with the president. Schumer saying he even offered to include funding for the border wall as part of a deal.
The president said many times he would take a deal that included DACA in exchange for the wall. I put that deal on the table.
But Schumer says hours later, Trump called, changing his mind.
Negotiating with President Trump is like negotiating with Jell-O.
If negotiating with the president is like negotiating with Jell-O, as you said, then how are you going to get it done? And are you willing to go back to the White House this weekend?
It's still very, very hard given the past history and what I've said, but you always got to be willing to try, and I am.
A bipartisan deal on the Dreamers the president rejected is still being worked on.
I don't think going into your partisan corners and throwing a temper tantrum is the right way to do it. It needs to be resolved as soon as possible.
Kenneth joins us live now from Capitol Hill. And Kenneth, you've been working both chambers of Congress all day. Any chance of a deal soon?
Tom, lawmakers on both sides are talking and negotiating, but there appears to be no progress at this point. Congress is racing against the clock. The weekend is giving them some time to work out a deal before those 800,000 federal employees will be furloughed on Monday.